Good morning, everyone. Thought I would just pop on here. Just turning the light on, that's a bit better. Sorry about the glare, I'll take the plastic off in a second. Thought I'd pop in on here and show you the March kit from Coco and Fluff. So in the kit you get 2 vellums, which that's the first one, and isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Absolutely love that one. Oh, and a beautiful floral. Isn't that lovely? That is stunning. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So that's the 2 vellums. Okay, and then you get the sticker kit. I'm just checking the glare off my light. Actually, I might turn that off. That's probably a bit better. It's reflecting on the glass mat for some reason. So, zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so see if this. No, that's going to make it worse, so we'll get rid of that light like that. Okay, so this is called Rainy Days Reveries. Love the girl walking in the rain. That's beautiful. Then you get March Days and Chapter 3, which I use that all the time. And the numbers. So this is on washi. Next one, that's 2 individual side washi strips. Numbers along there, which are all individually, all individually cut. And then you get this month to do appointment, birthday and goals. The colour scheme of this kit's just, I love it. It's just pink, but not over the top pink. It's just like a neutral sort of pink, if that makes sense. And then my favourite thing, a fountain pen. I actually have, let's put a pink fountain pen on the table, shall we? It's not really pink. It's got red ink in it, but there you go. We'll get in the mood. Put a little fountain pen there. Florals and journals. Beautiful. Okay, this one here is boxes, but it's not cutters boxes. What I do a lot is if you cut down the middle, let me find one and show you. Okay, so this is a page, a goals page I did for February, using a Coco and Fluff kit. And if you cut down the middle rather than cutting them into squares, this is an A5 bullet journal from Archer and Olive. No, this is a Planner Perfect A5, but it fits in an A5 or an Archer and Olive as well. And then you can have it down there. But another thing I found, which I was trying to find that page. Yeah, this one. Oh, you're going to have to excuse my writing. I'll cover that over. That's personal, sorry. If you cut down the 3 and then use one of the other boxes, they do fit to take up the full row. And then I use the skinny sidebar, which I'll show you that page in a second, to do this bit here. And then up here, is that in the, sorry, that wasn't in the picture properly. So this is just the full sidebar. The bit that I've put up the top here under the letters, under the numbers, and then down here to make it look like it's a full border, that is the page that's all cut into strips, but I didn't cut it out. So when I get to that page, I'll show you how to use that. because that's how I use those. I don't actually use those strips cut out. I don't know if Dawn's probably going to watch this, but I'd actually prefer them not to be cut out. And then if you want them cut out, you cut them out yourself to fit the size that you need. Because then for someone who doesn't want them cut out, it's easier to use as a full page that way. But I know a lot of people do time blocking and that with those strips. So I don't know if that'll happen, but that's just how I use it. So I love how this is not cut out, because you've got the option to cut it out or you have the option not to cut it out. So that I actually really like that idea. Whereas a lot of places where you buy boxes like that, they're already cut out and you've got to line them up and everything. Okay, oh, little girl with her umbrella. I'll tell you a story. When my daughter was that age, I can remember her going up to another little boy and his sister. Both my children were very friendly to other kids when they were little kids. And I can remember her going up to show this other little boy who was waiting outside a shop for his mum with his sister. And she just went up and started talking to him and the little girl and showed him her umbrella, because it was a new umbrella that I'd got for her. And he turned around and hit her with his umbrella and said, "Go away." And I thought, my daughter was being nice to you when you are a little child and you have been taught by your parents to be nasty to another child. That's not the way you teach children to not talk to strangers. I'm sorry. That is really, I've never forgotten that. My daughter is 26 years old now, and we found out she's autistic when she was 18. But she is such an empathetic person. She would do anything for anybody. And in her life, she's been taken advantage of and bullied and everything because of that. But this is when she was like 4, 3 in that age group. And this other little boy had been taught to not even be friendly to other children. And I thought that was just shows some bad parenting on that other person's idea. You just don't teach children to be like that. But anyway, that's my rant for the day. It just reminded me that I've never forgotten that incident, neither she. So, yes, beautiful. Favourite thing, coffee cups. Absolutely gorgeous. And I've used this image multiple times. I absolutely love it. It's just a beautiful image. If you have a look at another video on my channel, I show where I've used, I think it was this image that I used on one of my journals. Absolutely beautiful. That's really nice. It's raining here today, so it's middle of summer, but it's raining, and that's a beautiful image. And I love these to use as your background elements and then layer over the top. Love those. Ooh, this is the one that's cut. So that is actually cut. So how I did, it's cut in little tiny thin strips. So if you wanted to use it for blocking things out on your planner, you can. But how to get away with it without using it like that, I've tried peeling them all off and then lining them up. And with washi, if you lay it down crooked, it does not want to come up again. Sorry. So how I've solved that problem, when I did it on that other page I just showed you a minute ago, leave it on the backing sheet. Don't take it off the backing sheet if you're going to use it as a full image. And if you wanted to use that like that, just stick it down with glue or tape runner as it is and don't take it off the backing. Because it's in a book, the chances of this peeling up, if you haven't already peeled it up, is remote. If you want to use a piece of it, like I did to do the ends of the theme on that side, just cut it to size and then glue it down. I use Nuvo glue in this as it dries totally clear and you only need a couple of drops. Don't put too much glue on when you're gluing things in your planner like that, because sometimes, especially with vellums and things, if you use too much glue, they buckle. So never cover the whole thing. So if you were gluing these vellums, if you were gluing this into your book instead of putting tip-on tape on it, only use a tiny, tiny amount of glue to hold it in place so it doesn't move. I don't even use tape runner on vellums anymore. They tend to buckle when you move the page. Whereas if you just put a tiny drop in the corners that's come out of these, because these nozzles are very like a pin size. So when you put a drop of glue in each corner to hold it there, it dries clear, you won't see it, but it won't buckle or show through your paper. The other one that's really good for it is this one here, Art Glitter Glue. So that's my two go-to glues. Some glues are clear when you put them on, but then they dry with a residue of like a yellow colour, and some glues that have a tinge of blue. So they actually would shine through vellum. Tape runner. I use this tape runner, but there's heaps of different ones. They'll show through. Glue dots will show through. So you can use those if you know you're going to layer on the top of those, you can use that sort of adhesive, but I don't recommend it if it's just to put the page on the top and you're not going to cover it over. So when I cut the piece out of here, I just put one little tiny dob in each corner, and then it sticks it down and it's not going to come off. And as long as you haven't started to peel these stickers off, I don't think they'll come off. Whether they come off in 10, 15, 20 years, I don't know, because adhesive and things on stickers does break down over time. But usually it has to be exposed to UV light for that to happen. Usually in a photo album or something that doesn't have that acid. I can't think of the name of the acid. In old photo albums, there used to be an acid that would come through and eat and change everything to yellow, so photos would go yellow. I used to know the name of it. I forget what the name of it is. That can cause the glue to go yellow on things. But sometimes tape runners and things, the adhesive part breaks down and then it comes off the page over time. So using liquid glue, that will stop that happening. But I don't know about the sticker glue on the back of the sticker, whether eventually that would come off. But in a book, I'm presuming it wouldn't, as long as it's glued down and never gets caught on something. Sorry about that rant. If you didn't want to know that, just fast forward over me if I get on one of my rants. Okay, so this is really cute. Little poncho, I love that. I don't live in a cold area, so I love that sort of stuff, but I don't own it. And boots. I haven't got a pair of boots like that. I only have walking boots. Beautiful florals. I think she said this is the florals that she's making into a digital kit, I think. But I might be wrong. I love the florals. Okay, I think that's cut into strips as well. So you could do the same. If you wanted to leave that as a block, do the same thing as I was just talking about. And I've got to stop watching Dawn's fountain pen videos because every time she tells me when I've got to go buy it. Like, I bought this one. I was watching a video of Dawn's and she showed these little tiny ones. And so what did I do? Go buy one. I'm not sure if she told me about this one. She might have. I'm joking. I'll still watch them anyway because I'm addicted to fountain pens and stickers and books. Or journals. Actually, I've just started reading, so I started reading a new book yesterday. I hadn't had time to read for ages. And I started reading a new book yesterday. And the reason I started is because Archer and... Sorry about my croaky throat. Sorry. Archer and Olive are releasing a new reading journal. And it's so cute, I want it. So I just started reading a book the other day just so I could start my reading journal. How bad's that? I always used to be an avid reader, but raising 2 children with medical issues and then working 6 or 7 days a week for over 30 years, I didn't have time. So now I'm retired, I get to do what I want to do, which is really good. Let's turn that around and have a look at that one. Books in the window. Everything on these stickers is beautiful. I don't think there's any sticker I ever hate. The only problem is being in Australia, freight's so expensive. It just makes everything so expensive. And a page of florals. So the kit is absolutely stunning. I'll just quickly go back through and you can have another look. I'll just do 2 pages at a time. The kit's absolutely stunning as usual. So if spots open up this time, make sure you sign up and then become a lifetime member like me, because I'll never take the risk of not having a spot. Okay, so that's the beautiful March kit, and I'll just quickly show you the other things that come in the kit. Okay, so in the kit, I've shown you before what I do with the little cards, so I won't show you this time. If you don't know what to do with these little cards, which I'm going to show you, go and have a look at my other unboxing, because it shows you what to use these, what I use these for. So even if you want to use them stuck into your planner for the month while you're using this kit, it gives you something to use these for, so you can see them all the time afterwards. It's got a little calendar on the back. So while you're using it, you can use the calendar in the picture and then turn it into the magnet like I show you in my other video, or a little art piece on your desk or something when you're finished. This is a vinyl sticker. That's beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. And then your March dates, or months, not dates. And then I must have talked through the quote page. Sorry, I didn't read any of the quotes to you. I must have talked through it as I was showing you the pages. I just realised. Some people walk in the rain, others just get wet. I will admit I'm a rain and cold person, even though I live in Australia. I don't like summer. If I can go in the pool, I'm happy. But if it's just hot, I live in a very humid area. So I've travelled to, I live on the east coast of Australia, and it's very, very humid. So if we have a 35-degree day, I don't know what that is in American temperatures, sorry. This is Australian temperatures I'm talking about. So if it was 35 degrees or 40 degrees, it sometimes can feel a lot hotter than that, but it's very, very humid. Whereas I've been to the outback of Australia and as long as you can find a piece of shade, even if it's 45 degrees, you can wear a long sleeve shirt to protect you from the sun, but it's not as hot. So I don't think I'd like to live out there, because it can actually get up over 50 degrees in the middle of summer. I've only ever gone out there in the middle of winter or spring or autumn, but it's a different sort. It's a dry heat, which is a much better heat than humidity. So that's just a bit of education about Australia. But I just wanted to show you the... I haven't actually I thought, no, I haven't got the accessory pack that goes with this theme yet because it doesn't get released until after. So because this comes out as a sub, I can't get the accessories to go with this particular one until I place another order. So I'll be placing an order when she has the sale in a couple of days. But in those other kits, it's like this. Oh, this is just one from, I think this is Amity. But I bought a heap of these the other day because I use all these extras all the time. You can actually buy individual sheets as well. So I bought a heap of those. And a heap of the text. I already have a lot of text on pet tape and things like that. But the text on washi, you don't see the shine and the as though it's a sticker. It blends more into the paper. So if I'm too lazy to get my stamps out, I tend to use these. So I bought a heap of those. I'll just show you quickly how I store them. Okay, so for the papers, I just got one of these binders. So that's where my vellums go until I'm ready to use them, just so that they stay flat. I don't have many in there because you only get 2, I tend to use them all the time. So that's in there. And I've got one of her little things on the front like that. So I know it's hers. And then I did that on the spine. So when it's sitting on my bookshelf, I know what company it is. And then this is my very chunky Coco and Fluff album. So I'm going to have to start a new one because it's really chunky. I did put an espresso and ink, which is technically a 2026 kit. I did put that in there, but it's because it's the last page. So when I don't remember how I found out about Coco and Fluff. I think it came up. I either saw it on a YouTube video where someone else had recommended it, or it came up, or one of Dawn's posts came up in my feed one time. Because I search a lot of planner and stickers and that sort of stuff, that's what comes up in your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed by the algorithm. So it might have come up that way, I can't remember. But when I found her artwork, I think it was the, which was the first one? I think it was Winter Story. Yes, it was. I joined the subscriptions in November last year when Winter Stories came out, and that was the first kit that I saw from Dawn, and I thought, oh my god, I love it. So I signed up straight away, and I've been with her ever since. But I went back through her website and had to go and buy every other kit. So I've got Autumn Glen, and some of them I've actually gone and bought 2 because I've used them. Harvest of the Hollow, Timeless Travels, Autumn Academia, The Bewitched Bean, Salty Air, and Spellbound Academy. I don't think they're in the order that she released them, but that's how I've put them in the thing. So, yeah, so I've got every single one of her kits, and I tend to, when I use a page, go and buy another one. So that is why, from my perspective being in Australia, I'm glad she's doing the digital kits, because it's just the cost of the freight that makes everything so expensive. So by having a digital kit when I need something extra of a kit I've already bought, instead of having to go and buy the whole kit again, I've got the digital, I can use it however I want to and change the size and everything. So, because I'd rather spend my money on her new releases than another kit that I've already paid for. So that's just my opinion. But I absolutely love it anyway. So if you're new to Coco and Fluff, please make sure you go back and have a look at all of her old kits. because they are all absolutely beautiful. So definitely go and buy those, and definitely go and order the accessory pack. And another little advice would be for the accessory pack, Dawn, if you allowed subscribers to go and add it to their sub so that there's no postage on this, because then, for example, every time I got the sub, I could get this at the same time. Then that way I'm only paying postage on the new releases that are not part of the sub, and I would be happy to do that as well. So that would be my only thing. That's why I have to buy so many at a time, because of postage. So that's just from someone living on the other side of the world where postage is, and like, she's very, very good with her postage. If I overpay, she refunds the postage costs. So she's only charging me what it costs her for postage. But from my point of view, with the exchange rate and everything like that, it would just be a lot better if I could buy the accessory pack when I order this. That's just from my point of view. If you agree in the video, just let Dawn know so that she knows it's not just me that wants that. But that's just from my point of view. But I would never let that stop me buying. I just buy it in bulk when I have to, so I don't have to order so often. But that's just a couple of my comments. They're not negative. They're just advice from someone on the other side of the world who doesn't get cheap freight. Plus the other issue is at the time it takes to get here. So the way Dawn sends her kits, I always have my kit ready for the month I'm going to use it for. The only time that's ever gone astray was the January kit, because of the delays in postage at Christmas time. I did not get that at the beginning of January. I got that, I can't remember, I'd have to look up what date I got it, but that wasn't just from Dawn, that was from everywhere. Some of the advent boxes I bought that should have arrived before don't come until the end of January. So the last 2 years buying advents, I very rarely get them in time for Christmas at all, because even if the person sends them in time, Americans would get them in time, but because I'm on the other side of the world at that time of the year, it can take up to 4 to 6 weeks for me to get them. So that's just someone who's in another country's point of view. But Dawn always sends them. I get a subscription off another company. I have to use last year's for the dates. So I still subscribe, but it never comes in time for me to use it for the month that it's due for. But I have to use it from the previous year. So when I wanted to use that particular brand for January, it hadn't arrived. I had to use last January's kit. And the problem with that is, where a calendar is, like when the dates are separate like this, it's fine. It doesn't affect anything. But when they provide a dated calendar, it's useless to me. I can't use it because it's last year. So that's why I like that Dawn sends hers out so far in advance. There's a few other companies that do the same thing, and it's just so much better because then no one's disadvantaged. Everyone gets it in time to start the new year, except at Christmas time. I expect that. So there was multiple brands this year that I didn't get until January. After January had already started. So there you go. So please go and subscribe to Coco and Fluff as soon as a spot opens up. It's a beautiful aesthetic for your planner. She does quality stickers. I've never had a problem with her stickers not being cut out or anything like that. It's always perfect. And she's just a lovely lady. So please go and sign up and become addicted like I am. So have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. And make sure to follow me at Journal Your Life Story on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you very much.